choke you down just like a pill.
There are 5 main variations of the double touch, none of which have a clear name. We've got the classic double touch, the double touch rebound, the wall shot double touch rebound, the aerial to backboard double touch rebound, and the bounce shot thing. I could be wrong about this, but I consider all of these shots double touches, because you're hitting the ball multiple times consecutively. Whether or not they all qualify as double touches, I really don't care. All of them are really fun to practice and even more fun to pull off in a game. And today, I'm going to help you get better at hitting all of them. I've made a 5-shot training pack that you can find in the description if you want to work on these. Sorry for those of you that aren't on PC. If you really want to, you should be able to replicate these shots pretty easily. Let's start with the classic double touch. This isn't a shot I really hit on purpose very often because it's not necessarily the hardest to defend. Basically, what you're trying to do is get 2 or more touches in the air. You'll need to hit the ball pretty lightly the first time so that the ball doesn't get too far away from you. If you do this right, it can also be turned into an air dribble pretty easily. Like I said, this isn't the most effective shot, but it's a good introduction to the other shots we're going to go over. This is definitely one of my new favorite shots, basically because it makes me feel like I'm as good as Jazer or Squishy Muffins. Just not quite as consistent. The initial pop into the air is the most important part. If you don't do this right, you basically have no chance of pulling it off. Try to get a feel for how fast you should be traveling. I like to be moving relatively slow, but I always make sure I'm boosting through the ball. So what I do is I speed up right before I hit the ball. This gets the ball high without going too far down the field. Once you've hit the ball, you need to get your car heading straight up as quick as possible so that you can level your car out at impact with the ball. This shot won't work if you come at the ball at too steep of an angle. It's going to take some time before you can consistently start hitting the ball towards the backboard correctly. Just keep doing it over and over and over again, and I promise after a while, it'll click. You'll get closer and closer, and sooner or later, you'll make one. And then you'll miss 100 more. I first started working on this shot after I saw Johnny Boy feature it with J-Naps and Garrett. I was amazed at how consistent they were at setting up double touches. But after I tried it for a few days, I realized that there were a few simple things they did that really help. First, unlike an air dribble, you want to set the shot up so that you can hit the ball relatively hard enough to get the ball to the backboard. Try to get your first hit to send the ball pretty far out into the field, and then boost quickly towards the ball. It's going to be more difficult to set the shot up if you're in your opponent's side, but if you do happen to be on your opponent's side, or you just can't get to the ball with enough speed, you can try using your dodge. This is a little more difficult, but it's good to know how to do because your setup won't always be this simple. Plus, it's a lot less predictable for your defenders. Getting to where you can consistently make the rebound just takes time. You just have to keep practicing it. I'll talk a little bit more about this at the end of the video, so just stick around for that. Mastering this shot is all about timing. Here's the main thing. The later you jump, the more height you put on the ball. So if you're trying this and you keep hitting the ball too low, that's because you're jumping too early. Try waiting like a split second longer. Learning this is similar to when you first start learning how to hit power shots. It seems difficult until you've done it a few times, but then after a while it just becomes automatic. This is actually a really good shot to practice in free play as well, so give that a try. The last shot is something pro players like Squishy and Devo do all the time. When you first try this, you're probably going to default to hitting the ball too low. The best way to approach this shot is to try to hit your aerial slightly higher than a normal shot. So you'll need to kind of hit the bottom of the ball, but that all depends on your approach, really. One tip I can give you is to air roll your car forwards at impact. This will keep your car from falling backwards when it makes contact with the ball, and it will make it possible to follow up with a rebound. Now, you may be thinking, when am I going to have an opportunity to hit shots like this in a game? And the answer may be, not very often. But it does happen, and the best place for double touches is definitely when you're playing doubles, since these shots are somewhat high risk. If you're struggling at making rebounds, here's a tip for you. Oftentimes your car is traveling too fast, making your angle too steep to make a rebound. So what you need to learn how to do is slow your car down by tipping it backwards in the air and boosting slightly. This obviously takes a lot of practice, but once you get it, it's really an easy way to position yourself better on rebounds, because you then have a lot more room for air. Other than that, just keep trying and let the mistakes just pile up, and sooner or later, you'll start instinctively getting your car to where it needs to be. As frustrating as it can be, that's just how improvement works in Rocket League. Keep grinding. See you guys next time.